getting some forklifts unloaded at a forklift place. What gave you the first clue? So, I look tired. I haven't slept in like 3 days, but that's okay. Yeah, he's getting two of the forklifts here at this place in Troy, Ohio. The next two are in two different stops. One's in Toledo, one is in Cleveland in Ohio, and then I don't know where I'm going from here. So that's what we're doing right now. And it's chilly. I came from Texas. It was nice and warm in Texas. I gotta go get fuel after I leave here because we're in the red. I had to push it. I had to get here quick. I had to drive, I think it was 19 hours from Texas to get to this place, but obviously had to take a 10-hour break, which I took in, I think I stopped at the Johnny Cash rest area on 40, something like that. I can't remember. It's terrible. So I took my 10-hour break there and got on the road about 1 o'clock this morning, and it's just gradually getting colder and cloudier again. I was hoping for some more sun today, but that's okay. I'm in Troy. See that? Troy. February 3rd at 1:11. I always close my eye. I guess I see better out of my left eye. It is 1:11 in the afternoon on Saturday, February 3rd, and I am in Ohio. I stayed the night at a service plaza off of the Ohio Turnpike, and I just got done running in and taking a free shower. Service plazas on the Ohio Turnpike have free trucker showers, so use them if you wanna. They didn't clean it from the last person. And there's no towels, so I always bring my own towels anyway, but I usually use the truck stop towels for the floor. Sorry if you use their towels to clean yourself with, but ugh, that's nasty. Anyway, I'm about to hit the road. I gotta run to Napoleon, Ohio to pick up my next load that's going back to Illinois for tomorrow morning. I've been here for like 18 hours. I don't have enough time to do a 34, but it was a nice break because the last 3 or 4 10-hour breaks, I didn't get much sleep. So I got good sleep this time. I feel good. I am ready to roll. After I deliver in Morris, Illinois, I am then picking up another load near there that's going back to Texas. And guess what? I still don't have my AC fixed in the truck. So I hope it's not too hot down there. Man, it got 94 degrees in here that one day. It was like hell. Literally. It was hot as hell in here. It was a rough night. It's been a rough few days. I have the AC on right now. It's not even cooling it off at all. It's only 48 degrees outside, but right now the sun is beating in here in the front window. It needs to get fixed quick. I don't handle heat very well. So, anywho, I gotta get to rolling. Time to do the thing. So let's go. Can you guess where I just was? Maumee River. truckers and my friends. It's Monday morning, February 5th at 3:06 in the morning, and I got loaded yesterday just up the road here and ran out of hours. So I had to park on the side of the street. It was nice and quiet. There was no reavers, there was no noise. It was super quiet. I'm right by a pond, which is frozen. I've been here for 19 hours, I think, and that's because I ran out of my clock for my week. I'm not doing a full reset, but I didn't have hours until midnight. And then my recaps for today, I'm only getting just about 8 hours back, 7 hours and 56 minutes back for today. So I was like, well, why bother hurrying? I'll just get stuck in St. Louis traffic on my way down to Texas. So I've got some running to do today so I can get as many miles under my belt as I can. And then I'm going to have to shut it down again later today when I'm done with this 8 hours and wait again until midnight to get my recaps back. I don't like this recaps thing. I want to run for my 11 hours. What are your thoughts on recaps? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you love them? Anyway, I got to go do my pre-trip. It's dark out here. The street lights are not working. So I'm going to go do it in the dark. Okay, I got to go do my pre-trip and get to rolling. St. Louis, baby. There's the arch.
Go ahead and set your brake. Okay, now pump it down. Let's check your low warning air interface. Okay, let's check your defroster. It's blowing. Okay. Fire extinguisher and flames.
It's in the side pocket. I think it's open. I gotta get my key. another inspection, a safety inspection on the full truck. They took my driver's license, but they haven't checked my logs yet. I don't know if they're going to. But they checked over the truck, did all the brake checks and everything, and found a slight leak in the glad hand. That was all he found. Well, they went in to go do the paperwork to give me the written warning, and I went back there and checked, and there's no leak in the glad hand. So I'm going to have him show me where this leak is. If I get any more points on my CSA report for something that's not there, I'm going to be mad. I don't hear it. I don't know what he's talking about. So I'm going to have him show me. And if he can't prove it, can I make them take the warning off? Or is it by then too late? I should have asked him before he went to go do the paperwork. I'm going to fight this. There's nothing else wrong with the truck. Everything else checks out. Everything is good. Paperwork's all good. And now I'm going to run out of hours because I can't get to my dock on time. Thank you, Texas. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys. I went out there to check it. I did it both with the trailer brake in and out, and I do not hear any leak. There's no leak. I'm going to make him prove it. Watch. Okay, you guys. The lighting is terrible. My face is all red. It is 91 degrees in here. My AC is not working. I went to go to... There's several things I need to discuss here. Last week when I was down here in Texas, the AC was not working. It got in 94 degrees in here. I stopped at a Love's to have them fix it, and I had to get in line. They only had one mechanic at the time. He already had like 4 trucks ahead of me, and the dude told me it was going to be a long wait. I'm like, I don't care. I need it fixed. Like, I'm waiting. Like, put me in line. I will wait. Well, hours and hours went by, and they didn't call anything. So I called them, and I'm like, do you know how much longer it's going to be? It's roasting in my truck. I have no air. I'm like on fire. It was 94 degrees. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I was just thinking about you, and I was going to call you. And I'm like, okay. He says, my only mechanic is out on a road call right now, and he's got one more truck when he gets back to fix before you. At that time, the temperature had finally dropped in the truck, and I was heading north. So after that stop at the Love's, I was heading back north. So I was like, you know what? I need sleep. I can't sleep laying here waiting for you to call. So I'm just going to take the truck off the list. I'll get it fixed when I get back north. It was only like in the 30s up where I was headed. And so I just was like, I'm just going to suck it up. It's finally cooled off in here. And that's what I did. So this week, I didn't have a chance to get it fixed while I was up there. And now I'm turned around and heading back to Texas. I'm here in Texas now. And it's now 91 degrees in here. And I am stuck at a truck stop. Want to know why? At my DOT inspection, they were pulling all the trucks through. I got pulled onto their inspection zone, and they started checking everything. The brakes, under the truck, all the things. Wipers, lights. They went through the whole brake check, and there was 2 guys that were working on my truck. They were back at the back of the trailer chit-chatting about something, and the one guy came up and he said, I need you to pull across the way and park in one of the parking spots, get your CDL, your registration, and your BOL for the load that's on the trailer right now. Get them ready, and I'll be over shortly. So I did. I parked in the spot where he wanted me to go, and I sat there waiting. And then he came over and said, I have to write you a warning because there was a slight leak at the glad hand connection. And I'm like, what? I had done my pre-trip before that trip. There were no leaks. I don't know what he was talking about. My gauges were fine while I was driving. Whatever it was must have been very slight. So I'm like, I am not going to let this slide. And I got out of the truck while he was still in the building, and I went back and I checked. I didn't hear any leaks. I pushed the button in, went back there again, still didn't hear any leaks. And so when he came back to the truck, I was like, can you just show me where this air leak is at the Glad Hand? Because I have to explain this to my company and I need to know what's happening. And I said, I went back there and I didn't hear anything. So if you would just kindly show me what it is that you see or hear, that I would appreciate it. I went over and got the wheel chuck and chucked the wheels again. He had me push in both the tractor and the trailer brakes and said, if you don't mind, you can get out and check while I step on the brakes for you so you can hear it. And so he climbed up in the truck and I went to the back of the tractor and I'm like, I don't hear anything. I told him, I went back to him and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't hear anything still. What exactly am I looking for? And he's like, he kind of was getting perturbed, but I was trying to be extra nice. And so he said, well, let me check it again. So he got out of the truck, I got in the truck, I applied pressure to the brakes. And first of all, when I told him that I wanted him to show me, he looked at me like, oh, okay. Like he was surprised that I was asking. So that kind of caught me off guard, the look on his face that he gave me when I asked for him to prove it to me. Not prove it, but to show me, because I needed to explain this to the mechanics. Choose your wording wisely if you have an issue with a DOT inspector, because I think they were born different. They don't like conflict and they don't like being questioned. So I was trying to be very nice and explain to him, I need to know what's happening so I can explain it to our mechanics. So when he got in and pressed the brakes and I didn't hear anything, I was like, I'm sorry, I don't hear anything. Could you just explain to me what it is that you're hearing or seeing, or what it is I can explain to my mechanics? And he's like, had a puzzled look on his face, and he's like, you get in and press the brakes, let me see. So I got in the truck, pressed the brakes, he was back there, and he kind of peeks back around the corner and walks up to me like with his head hanging down. He's like, I don't hear it anymore, so I'm just going to take that warning off of your record. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, thank you. I really appreciate it, but I just needed to know what it was I needed to explain to my mechanics. So I do appreciate that, and I was very thankful. But anyway, so he took my paperwork, my CDL, all the paperwork, and went back into the office, said he was going to remove that warning from my record or whatever. So he comes back over and he says, we have a bigger problem. I dismissed the warning for the Glad Hand leak, which was non-existent. He says, but we have a bigger problem. Your CDL is not valid. I was like, what? What do you mean my CDL is not valid? I was flabbergasted. And so I didn't know what to say. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, what could have possibly happened? He's like, I don't know. We can't see it from our system. You're going to have to go park somewhere. I'm putting you out of service until you figure it out. You're going to have to call Illinois State and find out what's going on with your CDL and get it fixed before you can move. For now, I will escort you to the truck stop, which is right up the road, and you can sit there and handle the business with the Secretary of State in Illinois. He said, I'll give you a warning. When it's complete, sign it, have your employer sign it, and send it into the DOT. I was like, oh my God, I'm like freaking out at this point. Like, why in the world is my CDL not valid? So, long story short, I stayed online with the Secretary of State in Illinois to find out what was wrong. Finally, after getting through, they said my medical card was never updated in the system. Well, my medical card was to expire mid-January, so I went in December and I got a new medical card. I worked 2 other jobs before Myborg. prior to those 2 jobs, I was out of the truck because I had a severe knee injury for 7 years. For those 7 years, I had to suspend my CDL or put it on hold, and I didn't have to get a medical card because I wasn't running a truck. But I didn't know that back in 2014, they changed the laws. It used to be that when you got a medical card, the medical provider that did your medical exam would turn all that stuff in to the Secretary of State. Well, that changed in 2014, but I had been out of a truck and I didn't know. Now they have the driver do their own self-certification, which means now the driver has to turn in their own medical card through the Secretary of State or the DMV or whatever. I had no idea. I assumed when I walked out of that doctor's office that was all going to be done for me like it was in previous years before my knee injury. So, me not catching up with the times, apparently, I had no idea. So they said, okay, on the phone she told me, she goes, you can mail it in and it'll take 7 to 10 days after we receive it, or you can go to the DMV in Illinois. And I was like, I'm not in Illinois. I'm stuck at a truck stop in Texas. What can I do from here? What are my options? And she was nice enough to say, if you can find a way to scan a good copy of your medical card, email it to me and I will get it done before 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'm like, will a picture on my phone work? And she's like, no, that won't work. They're usually not good enough pictures from a cell phone to see everything. I was like, okay, I'll figure something out. And then she's like, call me after 1 o'clock and I'll let you know if it's done or not. I'm like, okay, crap. So thankfully, I already had a copy of it in my gallery on my phone because I had sent a scan in to my Borg, and thankfully I already had one. So immediately I emailed it to her, and I've been sitting here out of service until 1 o'clock. I called them again, was on hold for like 20 minutes waiting for them to answer, and they finally said, yes, it's been complete. Your CDL is back up to date and your status is good. So now you can move. However, I ran out of hours while I was sitting here waiting, and so now I can't move until midnight when my hours recap. So, oh my gosh. You guys, it has been a week. Let me just tell you. It's been a week. Pretty much anything that could go wrong has. I'm roasting, and yeah, it's still 91 degrees in here, so I don't know how I'm going to get any sleep. I tried turning the truck on. It's just blowing like lukewarm air, and it gets hotter in here when I do that. So I've got the windows open with a cool breeze, kind of. It's not really coming back here, but it's better than nothing. And I got my little trusty fan right here. And let's hope the rest of the week gets better. The dispatch had to take my next load off of me because, well, I still have to deliver this one. Thankfully, it was just a drop and hook, and I can go whenever. So I'm going to get there at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I don't have anything until sometime tomorrow because they don't have any loads set up for in the middle of the night. So it's been a lot of sitting, a lot of overheating, a lot of aggravation, but this week, I'm telling you, we are going to get through it one way or another. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, I'm a mess. I'm a sweaty mess, and I just took a shower this morning, and I'm gonna have to take another one. So that's my story today. Hopefully tomorrow will be a little better.